Morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today being Thursday, the 29th of July, or the 20th of June in the 9th year of Chongyol Guk. Let's join together to offer a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Chariot, Kyombe, Haro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 8. 천일국 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지산천국과 천산천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 8. Our family, the owner of Chongyol Guk, pledges having entered the era of Chongyol Guk to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. And I'd like to ask Doug if you could offer the prayer this morning.
Good morning, Heavenly Parent, true parents. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for this opportunity every morning to come before you and to awaken ourselves through Hundake, Father, but to do it in the way that we're doing it on Zoom together across so many nations with so many different peoples. It is so wonderful, so engaging, so interesting. We thank you for this very special and great blessing to us in our lives. It has already affected us so very deeply, and it's giving us strength and vision and hope, Father, because through this morning prayer, we find things happening throughout the day that really improve our understandings, improve our relationships, help us in so many ways. The benefits that we get, Father, travel throughout the days and the weeks. And we can only imagine what can happen over the years, Father, to come. So we really pray that we can inherit, Father, absolute faith, absolute love, absolute obedience at this time, Father, and build this tradition so that we're secure and we're able to be strengthened each and every day, and we can build your kingdom of heaven on this earth. We thank you, Heavenly Parent. We report this in the name of Douglas, Mary, and Carlos Moriarty, Bliss Central Family, owners of Chongyol Guk. Aju.
Aju.
Aju. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And let's give a warm greeting, as always, to Reverend Yutaka as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's Hundoke. Today also the beautiful morning. Our brothers and sisters really meet each other, and also let's put our first heart to our heavenly parents and true parents. So yesterday there was ILC first day. So first day was started. Did you attend the ILC? So yesterday first day. There is also several sessions. Our first lady session, our Funsunim also gave the speech, and also first lady of Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Island. This is also from Oceania. Also she gave the speech. Also first lady from Nepal. So there are several messages. And NGO faith-based organization. So yesterday they also share about their thought of the reunification of North and South Korea Peninsula. So First Lady Summit actually was held in Palau 2019. That's why our feeling is close with First Lady, because that almost 1 or 2 months we lived together in Palau. Our all brothers and sisters, leaders came and also invest in Palau to prepare the First Lady Summit that time. So role of women, how women can invest and take a role and play the role in the society and the world. So this role is different with men, and there is the role which men cannot do and women can do, to embrace people as the love of mother. So this is really important, and our ocean is actually symbol of mother to embrace. That's why our Oceania region have to play the role of the mother to embrace the world with mother's love. Today is the second day. There is also the private sectors, arts and culture, sports, youth, and student. There are several sessions will be held, and from Oceania also they will give a speech. And especially today, our Reverend Stone and also myself become the moderator to lead the session. So I hope your support, your prayer for this session today. Today is the second day. So let's have a really great day. So let's start the Fundoke of True Mother's autobiography. So yesterday, we share about the Shawshank, the redemption of the mother, also mentioning, right? Because this main person also went to the prison, unjustly imprisoned. So true father went to prison 6 times with innocent, unjustly imprisonment. That's why through this movie, we can feel father's heart, and also we can feel mother's heart, who is just waiting, just for observing and just praying for father. Even indirectly, we can seek our father's heart. We can seek also mother's heart. And also what mother said yesterday through the autobiography, in the beginning of the day, mother always started with prayer and meditation, and also pray to God, for whom I can invest today, I can live today, for what, for whom I can do, and I can love today. So in the beginning of the day, when we offer the prayer, we can also pray and ask God, God, who can I do something today? What can I do something for someone? Those prayer in the beginning of the day. So make a plan, make a goal, and also make love for those person. So today we will continue our Tirumada's autobiography to the next part. So this is also one more part. In order to expand this further, I established the Wonmo Pyong-e Scholarship Foundation. This actually was the first major action I took after my husband passed away. Monetary offering of condolence flooded in from all over the world, and I saved all of it. I sent money for this purpose. I also sold the helicopter we had used for our mission work and added that money to those funds. So after True Father's Somfa, how much our True Mother really prayed and think and really prepare the many things and really asked God and ask to the Father, what is your heart, what is your wish, and what is your plan? So actually, during Father's time, all providence is actually carried on centering on true Father. All member is looking at true Father and also listening to Father's message, happy together with true Father, sad together with true Father, and also receive the vision and overcoming together with true Father. That's why when True Father went to the spiritual world, the Sonfa moment, this was big, shocking, and big happening for our all members. So among all this kind of circumstances, how Trimada had taken the role as the central figure and how was Trimada's heart. So last time we share about Trimada's heart, challenging agony, difficulty, and determination. And even without missing of one day, for 3 years, Trimada offered the Chonsong. So after True Father went to the spiritual world, Trimada, as the true parents, she have to lead the providence, and she determined, and she have to conclude the providence of restoration and to open the gate and establish the tradition which does not destroy, does not stop, and continue for 1,000 years of kingdom. So this is really mother's deep determination, chansong, and also prayer. That's why when mother pray and offer chansong, communicate with God, mother determined to establish this foundation, the Wonmo Pyonghae foundation for our second generation, third generation, future generation, and to raise up the future leaders. So when we see ourselves, how long future can we feel? How long future, how far are we looking at our future? You are also as a national leader, you are as also the national messiah, or you are also as the blessed family. How far of future are you looking and are you thinking of your nation? You are if Australia blessed family, you are New Zealand or Solomon Island, Samoa, Vanuatu. How many years future are you thinking? Are we thinking? This is really important matter. Are we thinking maybe someone will think our future providence? Someone will take responsible. Someone will do. Maybe national leader will do. Maybe regional director will do. Do we think like this? Who will take the role? Who will take the responsibility for our nation, our region, and also our world? That's why talking is easy, saying is easy, also sharing some idea is easy, but which part really we will involve, we will take a role, and we will communicate, and we will get up together, we will lead together. That's why when we think, when we see our mother seriously think, if mother doesn't take a role, doesn't take responsibility for future, who will take responsibility for this world seriously? That's why mother really pray and prepare and determined to invest for the next generation, second generation, third generation, and the future leaders. So mother established this Wonmo Pyonghae Foundation. This is the first action which True Mother did, mother said. So those mother's autobiography, also father's message, those story is not only just story without relating with ourselves. All things actually connected directly to ourselves, and we should think, how about myself? How about my nation? How we can contribute? How we can connect? What is your wish? What is God's wish? How should I do? Even I don't know how should I do. I don't know what should I do. But God, if there is your hope, please let me understand. I want to even small contribution. I want to offer something. Please support. Please let us realize. Please give your message. Through those prayer, even myself may be difficult. Even sometimes my family is difficult. But those prayer, this sincere heart, surely those person will appear and those person will come together, then we will go forward. So how we are thinking for our future and the future generation and to take responsibility of our future nation. This is really important, and that's why mother is sharing this part. Our Wonmo Pyeonghae Foundation, she determined to take responsible directly. It all went into an endowment, out of which we have been able to give 10 million in scholarships to help educate talented people for the future. Excellent students from all over the world, including Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia, Africa, Europe, and America, are benefiting from this scholarship. So when Trumada is looking at the youth in each nation, Mada could find the possibility, potential, and the beautiful future into those young peoples. And in Oceania, many also young people is receiving this scholarship, even each nation, Solomon Island, Australia, each nation. That's why, of course, we can receive those scholarship, but in the same time, how deep we can catch those mothers' expectation, mothers' hope, and mother's feeling. Mother said, of course, I heard some people buzzing about that. I heard that Mother Moon is sailing the helicopter she and Father Moon used together. One would say, and another would respond, it's such a historic artifact. Shouldn't it be in a museum? While I respect expression of regret over the sale of the helicopter and completely understand the sentiments, I made the decision. It is for the sake of our future leadership. While it is important to honor the past, it is more important to teach God's word and raise future generation of faithful leaders. So we remember those words. After True Father's Songfa, there is also confusion in our movement, even our heart of all leaders, all our blessed families. And how was that time our attitude to True Mother? Our feeling to True Father and our feeling to True Mother was honestly, there is differences, right? Artistic distance or artistic differences. Is that totally same for you or different for you? Toward to Father and toward to Mother. That's why whatever True Mother do, some leader or some member will oppose or give the comment or talking behind. We could see. And during the sailing of True Mother and sailing of helicopter, True Mother's decision, that time also there was many words. Why True Mother sold out this helicopter? This is the historical things. Father, how much love this helicopter? How much Father used this helicopter for doing the mission in the world? Why Mother sell this one? Better to keep somewhere for the historical things which True Father used. So those things, many also people mention, but how was True Mother's decision? Mother really think, and also the future leadership, future nation, future providence, and future generation even receive those kind of word, and Mother decided to sell the helicopter and determined to invest for the next generation. So Mother said, while it is important to honor the past, it is more important to teach God's word and raise future generation of faithful leaders. So for future generation, important point is really the education, how to decide, how to determine, and how to invest, so we could understand our mother's heart behind of each moment, each decision. So as the leader of the nation, and also as the blessed family, as the nation, as the second generation or as the third generation of this nation, we have to think how we can educate our nation, how we can educate our young people, how we can protect and guide, raise up our second generation, third generation, and the blessed children, like true mother. We should make our environment. And we have to prepare to unite, inherit our heavenly parents' tradition, true parents' tradition to unite together and to create the culture. This is important. Some of our blessed children or young people become maybe public leader, and some of them maybe become some kind of a role in the society. And some people also contribute to the heavenly providence. So important things, our second generation and third generation, even they are working in each place, different field, staying the different place. But important things is for them to connect our heavenly parents tradition and true parents tradition and our movement well, and to develop our tradition for future generation to connect together. This is really important things. That's why as the community, how can we create those community? Our first generation, our second generation, our third generation, and fourth generation. That's why as a leader, as a blessed family, we really seriously, we have to think our next generation matter in our nation, how we will prepare, how we will create if this foundation is not ready, or if our community, our foundation has some kind of problem or not enough, or they are difficult to come, then if we don't think, if we don't prepare, who will do? We will ask somebody, we will ask someone to come, or we will ask some God, I don't know how to do, but please God, take responsibility my children, take responsibility my nation. Should we say, do like this? If we don't do, if we don't think, nothing happen for the next generation or for future of our country. That's why mother is sharing and take responsible and sharing to us through mother's autobiography and talking continuously the message, the importance of education. So we continuously share about the Champmogyon word. Father also talking about the purpose of the education. I want to share the continuation of yesterday's things. So yesterday also share to parents who want to educate. Heavenly parents wanted to educate parents, couple, parent and child, and wanted to establish the tradition continuation for 7 generation. So in order to continue the tradition for 7 generation, Father said, we have to establish clear educational system, tradition, and foundation. So how to love my children, how to love our children, and how to love God's children, and to lead and raise them up. So let's see the continuation of this word. The time has come when young people should be able to speak more than 3 languages. Therefore, we are busy. Parents, offer your sons and daughters the opportunity to participate in the areas you could not accomplish during your lifetime. Standing in the position of true parents who bear responsibility for the whole, I address all people from this perspective. This is why we must create global university. So Father is mentioning about our blessed children or young people. They have to speak 3 languages. So already how about our world? World is already the global era. If you are thinking only your country, you cannot adjust, cannot follow, or you cannot, it's not easy to survive this era, or it's difficult to take a role to lead this world. Now, world is connected directly beyond the nation and beyond our own society, right? Maybe some of you already you can speak 3 language, 4 language. How many language can you speak? More than 3 language naturally? or 4 languages. So father also talking to our young people, minimum 3 language and 4 languages and 5 language. So at least father's nation, parents' language, our Korean is important, right? We try to study many times. Anyway, we should not give up. Continuously, we try to learn Korean language. So one is Korean is important, and one is also English is important. This is the world language. And another one is your country's language, right? And maybe you can study Japanese also as the mother's nation, and you can study also another language, Chinese also, or Spanish, French. So we should learn or wish to speak. Our young people have to study many language, minimum 3 language. That's why how much our international couple, international blessing is great. Of course, this is not easy things to live together with another country people. But when they are children of the international marriage couple was born, already the children is beyond the 2 nation, right? Beyond the 3 nation minimum, automatically. That's why your couple is same. Maybe our Reverend Ito also shared the message that time living in Africa, living in Russia, living in Marshall Island. That's why all children automatically went through the different nation and different nationality. And to learn the language, stay in Africa, maybe learn the French, stay in Russia, maybe Russian language, and Marshall Island, Marshall language, English, automatically. So dearly Father is mentioning about the language, and also Father said, standing in the position of true parents who bear responsibility for the whole. I address all people from this perspective. So young people have to have experience, and we are as the parents, we have to take a role, take a responsibility for our children and our children's education and the future. We have plans to build a super religious theological seminary in Cheonpyeong. We will build a global culture center in conjunction with an international folk village so that people visiting from around the world will be able to feel the atmosphere of their hometown as if they were in their homeland. When they come to this headquarters, they can receive education and training from the palace of the heavenly nation. Then they must return to the world. So Father is mentioning about the vision of Cheonpyeong. So Chulmada totally inherited and also working together with Father to establish the model city centering on Cheonpyeong and continuously investing that place to build the university and graduation school and also high school. Now this was called the UPA, Universal Peace Academy. So many of our Tonic missionary or leader is also here to educate the leader of the world, and also build the hospital and workshop center and the world stadium. And not only that, now also new building is coming. Shopping mall is there, international village, and also hotel is also preparing to build that place. And 2023, Cheonong-gung is also on the way to build that place. So this place become the model city in the world. Someone, even anyone visited that place, that person received the education, received the experience, and also receive spiritual inspiration, realize new things, determine and to going back to own nation. This is the vision of True Father, vision of True Mother, vision of that place, champion that place. So now one by one we could see, but behind of that, those internal vision and motivation was there. So we could also connect with those heart. If parents show a patriotic heart when they educate their children and say, I love you and I work hard for you. The reason I am sweating and taking great pains for you is not because I am thinking about myself, but in order to love our nation more than myself. Children who are educated with such love will endeavor to become the patriots their parents try to become. So what fathers say and what kind of heart parents should have. Father said, I love you and I work hard for you. The reason I am sweating and taking great pains for you is not because I am thinking about myself, but in order to love our nation more than myself. So I'm loving this nation. I'm really loving this world. I'm loving really God. That's why I'm going this way. I'm really offering my life and I'm educating and raise you up together. When parents educate, parents live together, parents raise the children up with those heart to show, to shed tears, blood, and sweat. Then when children see those parents' investment, their heart, this love, and also tears, children also try to effort, try to learn, and try to inherit. So as a parents, how we can show and practice to serve our children and serve our heavenly, serve our heavenly parents and serve our true parents, and also love our nation and love our world. So really, when also myself, when we see my life, I have to repent many times and also have to determine many times. So this is very important message. Each time they reflect on their parents' love, they will think about the 30 million people in their nation and will study with an attitude that they are doing so for the sake of the people. While doing so, when their people are suffering in misery, they will feel it far more than their parents did. So 30 million people, meaning is that time, the Korean total population is 30 million people. That's why father is talking about 30 million, but now mother is talking about 7.8 million people in the world. So when we think, when we remind or remember our father's life and mother's life, what kind of memory do we remember? We could see our father and mother really offer and sacrifice for God, and shedding tears for the people, shedding blood and sweat for the people in the world. We could remember and we could imagine those life of true father and true mother. So when our children remember our life, what kind of things children can remember? My father, my mother, and what kind of parents they will remember when we remain the tradition or remain the life for God, for nation and the world to establish the tradition. Those things is remain our children's heart and the next generations and continually. That's why how we can put our heart and our investment, our 심정 and showing. This is really important. So today, this chapter, Mada is sharing about helicopter and the Womo Pyonghae Foundation to love and determine, even receive many kind of opposing things, many kind of talking behind of true Mada, but Mada decide to sell the helicopter to invest for the next generation. And from Champongyeon to Father's word is also same about education. How we can guide our children, what kind of legacy, what kind of things we can remain to the next generation. That's why as a father, as a mother, as a true parents, and also as a leader, as the best family, what kind of things what kind of vision we are having now, and we will try to create now. Mother is seriously talking about Vision 2027, establish ideal nation of Chanilkuk. This is also the same way. What kind of things we can remain to the next generation? If Mother didn't prepare the one nation during the Mother's time, then who will establish? Who will take responsible? This one after through Mother. That's why during Mother's lifetime, Mother really determined to conclude the history of restoration and to make an eternal tradition for the future generation. This is Mother's determination, Father's determination, and this heart and determination also we should inherit and we should share to each our family level, tribe level, and society level, national level, and the world level. So we could learn many things and depend ourselves, and we determine again and again and again. That's why today's message of Mother's autobiography and Champmogyon about education and the future generation, we really rethink again, pray again, and let's prepare for our current situation and also our future generation. So today, thank you all our brothers and sisters to join our Fundoke. There is a beautiful day today. Let's offer the heart, love, and blessing to our brothers and sisters. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Yutaka, as always. So insightful and inspiring, and really a lot of things to think about. When I was listening, I was reflecting, especially when you talked about, what is my plan? What's the plan for our nation? And I started to think about that, because we know when we do that sort of process, there's a plan, there's action, there's results. And so I started to think, well, what is actually the focus in all those three stages? Like you said about the plan, what is my plan and how long is this plan? That's really significant. I remember being amazed when Father said one time, people think about a 1-year plan, or sometimes they don't even do that, just a plan for the day, or and the nation sometimes do a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. Sometimes they might even go to a 50-year plan. And then Father said that he actually planned for 1,000 years, a 1,000-year plan, and has set in motion things that will occur over that time. And so I thought, well, how long is the plan? And then about the action. Okay, who's going to do the action? And what is done in the action? How is that action manifested? And then I started to think about results, and we tend to think that results, well, that's it, that's the results. But then I thought, well, the focus of the results should be how significant are those results? Are those results going to bring change? And then I started to think about, oh wow, the helicopter and it being sold. And I remember everyone saying all sorts of things about the helicopter. But then it occurred to me that Mother is doing something that Father has already done. She's turning the helicopter accident into positive growth and investment into future leadership. I mean, we talked about the accident of Father and how and even Mother was injured there. And surely that weighs heavy, and we need to think about it, because they did the same thing with their own son. When Kunjanim died in the accident, it was also an accident, a car accident, and they turned that into the victory of love. So they took something that was a negative and something that could remain as a hurt or a regret and turned it into a victory. And so that made me start to think about, how do I really change the pain, the regret, the complaint that we have, that I have, into true hope and love. So I was inspired by Reverend Yutaka's words to really make something real and substantial. We're here in this nation. What is our part? Everyone's a central figure. There is the central figure of the core, which is obviously our true parents, but we are the central figure of our own destiny and of our own family. And so we really need to take that and turn it into something that makes a change, and it can only happen together. Your mother needs the community. Cain makes Abel, and Abel shines because of Cain. So it's really our collective effort that brings about the vision into reality, because the vision of yesterday is really the reality of today. Because the people yesterday thought about the internet, and look, internet today is like people can't live without it. We couldn't communicate like in this Zoom without it. So really visions can be realized by collective effort. So I was very inspired today. Thank you again, Reverend Yutaka, and I welcome others to also share. Okay, thank you. Yes, Doug, go ahead.
Pardon me for speaking too often, but I do want to share this. John, your closing words, amazing. The vision of yesterday is the reality of today. So as this super religious complex it was being talked about this morning, I was brought back to 40 years ago when I was in the Hotel New Yorker with Margaret's husband, Tim Sisterson, and we worked together, 100 people on various different projects. And it was the time of rebuilding the Manhattan Center, building on top of the Manhattan Center 2 stories, and refurbishing the Hotel New Yorker. But the foundation, as we were talking today, this vision of yesterday is the reality of today. This man came to my mind that True Parents really loved, and it's such a wonderful story. I really wanted to share. It exemplifies exactly what you were saying. People of vision in the past, they couldn't realize these things, but today, true mothers even realizing their dreams, And this man was 75 years old. His name was Vernon Duckert. And he was an architect all his life and a personal friend of Walt Disney. So he knew Walt Disney just like a brother. And being the architect with Walt Disney, he had a vision for creating a global school, where all the different nations would have different compartments inside a huge globe. But his vision was too expensive for Walt Disney. So it turned out that Disney chopped it down a little bit and he created Epcot, So he actually was the architect that conceived of this. And I don't know if he actually built that building, but he was the visionary. But he was the kind of man that was always involved in such righteous things. And one of the things, he built the San Diego Zoo where animals wouldn't have to be behind fences, He built it all naturally so that you could look at the animals could live in an environment that was completely pristine and without fences or, something like that. So it was absolutely beautiful. But the fact is, he was 75 years old when he began to work with True Parents. He came out of retirement and he put in about 15 years working with the church, and he would sleep underneath the desk very often, quite often, and just give everything that he had, because he saw True Parents carrying out the visions and doing the things that he himself could only dream of and never got done. So I just wanted to say something, because I just had to mention this amazing man, as Vernon Duckert. He died around, I guess, when he was around 90, and he spent the last years of his life with helping True Parents in New York. So thank you. Okay.
Wow. Thank you, Doug. Wow. Yes, Greg, go ahead.
Actually, Doug, I met Vernon Duckett as well around that same time in the New Yorker, and we were having lunch together in the canteen, and he had a vision that he was explaining to us about Oceania, because he knew we came from Australia, and his idea, because he's a very visionary guy, right, was there's so much rain falling in Papua New Guinea, and they have quite a lot of highlands and mountains. And these, most of the water just goes into the ocean, just flows out through rivers. And there's very little water in the center of Australia. So his idea was, if we could form some kind of a channel around the mountains and then pipe the water into the center of Australia. So, I mean, that's really a vision, but you know, technologically, maybe it's difficult, but anyway, he was certainly a man of great vision, and, you know, maybe something like that will happen. He had that kind of a spirit, you know, to solve the problems, you know. Anyway, thanks, Doug. It was really interesting. You reminded me of my meeting with him. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Actually, PNG is the one of the countries in the world that has the most highest rainfall. It almost rains every day. While in Australia, it's the opposite. Not a bad idea. Okay. Yes. Yes, Margaret, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Well, talking about Australia, I just want to share that Australia opened an embassy in Palau. So now we have a bilateral relationship with Australia, and it happens to be the Australian embassy is renting my nephew's building. So we have plans to, after we organize to pay a visit to the office, and just remembering that in 2000, when True Parents came to the Marshall Islands, Father did mention that to be a united Pacific, it would be good for all the different states of Australia to have all the island nations do a lottery, which means each island nation or Australian state pick in the lottery the different island nation. And now we're talking about 14 island nations who are members of the UN. So if each state of Australia has a lottery of all the 14 states, then each island nation will be a member of each of the states of Australia. Anyway, I think, as you already know, Palau has a potential in so many ways. Just yesterday, the commander of the Pacific Air Force, US Air Force, was a guest of the president in Palau. US military is now coming. Since July, there's 400 US military building airstrips in Palau right now, as well as the seaport. This is not only to defend the Pacific with Guam and Hawaii against China. This is also an economic opportunity for Palau. I heard it directly from the interview with the president yesterday. So potential of the Elder Sun Nation, the Mother Nation, you know, Palau was under, the Micronesian Islands were under Japan for over 33 years. So our grandparents and parents speak Japanese. So there is a connection. And as you know, Palau is only 4 hours away from Korea. And right now, because of pandemic, the Asiana Airline and Korean Airline are not flying in, but soon, hopefully it will be lifted. for our elder brothers and sisters in Australia in the father nation, as I understood it in the past. Australia is the father nation, New Zealand is the mother nation. And together, I think it's really possible to offer not just Palau, but other island nations to True Mother. So we need your support. I guess this is a little of advertising. And just on a personal note, yesterday, one of my elder sisters passed away from breast cancer. So, and another one, elder sister, is still in the hospital for having a dislocated hip and could not fly to Taiwan because there's no flight. So she's been bedridden for 4 months. So it's painful to see, but at the same time, I'm offering my family for the providence of Palau. And so together, let's really work to bring a smile to True Mother that Oceania will rise.
Wow, thank you, Margaret. We have time for one more person who'd like to share. Yes, Chris, go ahead.
Okay. Just want to mention once again that little paragraph where Mother mentioned at Champion there'll be cultural villages set up to develop their native cultures toward the heavenly providence. And I think that's really something that we all have to remember very deeply, because it should give a lot of hope to especially our smaller island nations, that when we become one culture, they're not going to be overrun and become a uniform culture like Korean culture, but the cultures will actually be enhanced and preserved, the good parts of their cultures. And I think that brings a lot of hope to smaller nations, even us. I wonder what the Australian culture is. I don't know how we do that, but yeah, you've noticed in there, it's in other texts, it's got a bit more detail than that. And, you know, to people to come to places where they're comfortable in their natural environment and things like that. So I think we need to remember that, because elder members, we all thought that everything was going to become Korean in the early days, but I don't think that's the vision. You know, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you, everyone. And it's time for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen. And let's pray together. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Enjoy the ILC and see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.